Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids, across our beloved empire. You're watching Arnold Holonet News, the only news you'll ever need because you have no other choice. And wow, it's been a minute. It's been a very slow season for Galaxy Heroes. I thought we're wrapping it up for today. We put the Imperial jammies on, you see? But no, Arnold Holonet News is a 25-8 situation, my friends. We finally have the Starros kit reveal, the final character required for Dr. Aphra, and whoa, this is one of the more unique, odd teams that we're going to be seeing out of Starros. Long story short, Stormtrooper Han, Lando, Rebel Officer Leia Organa are going to get some pretty nasty boosts to them. I want to kind of say maybe like an Iden Versio situation here. So let's hop on over and get you guys up to speed on what's going on. So kit reveal today, tomorrow update Thursdays when she'll be live if the trends stay the same. And you know, I don't know where you guys are gonna go, but around here, the director of the video gaming division is gonna be putting her through the paces, and we can see what she's gonna be up to. Really odd because in the kit there's no direct ties or call outs to Dr. Aphra, but I assume Dr. Aphra is gonna somehow bring in all the scoundrels together, Hondo as well as Starros, under one umbrella with whatever scoundrel team she's going to be providing. But in the meantime, maybe as you're building up to Dr. Aphra down the road, Sana looks like she's going to be able to lift these units. It's been a while since Stormtrooper Han and Lando were a thing inside of Galaxy. Stormtrooper Han used to be the meta. When mods first came out, Stormtrooper Han was the most important character. He who had the fastest Stormtrooper Han shall win the match here. So Starros is going to be light side, attacker, leader, scoundrel, smuggler, but no direct rebel tag in their little inspiration here. Although she worked with them, she never kind of fully got in bed with the whole entire rebel cause here. So they're keeping some separation there, but they're gonna help elevate rebel scoundrels. And I'll be honest, I'm very curious to see how some of these mechanics gonna work. Like suspicious that we have her. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. Well, she's kind of suspicious for the rebels apparently. Some allies may not be sure of Sana's intentions, but can use that suspicion to their advantage. And this is where I think she's gonna open up maybe some theory crafting for a lot of these leftover rebel scoundrel things that we have over there. And she's got target lock synergy. We don't have really any characters, I mean, except like Tech, that have like target lock synergy that's not a droid out there. So very interesting things that we have here. Here's the quick summary in case you got to dip out of it, but you guys can stick around for a little bit. Great at lowering cooldowns, helps team do more crit damage. I really want to know what Lando is gonna do. Rebel scoundrel tanks get tankier. Stormtrooper Han, man, I'm actually kind of excited to see what Stormtrooper Han's gonna be like here. Has the ability to boost health gains and provides way to stealth rebel allies to assist. So let's take a deeper dive into this kit here. Let's keep scrolling down and let's just get right into that basic ability. A cheap shot. Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict vulnerable for 1 turn. And if the enemy had already had it vulnerable, inflict vulnerable on all enemies for 1 turn instead. Now this is gonna be huge because again, this team is very critical damage, offense heavy. And you can't see the numbers here, but I'm just imagining for those that remember the days of Lando where he would just keep doubling down, and after like 2 turns, he can nuke an entire team. I think we might see a degree of that where if you leave Lando unchecked, he's gonna nuke your team very quickly. And that's where that vulnerability is gonna come in handy, because vulnerable pretty much means you're guaranteed to be critically hit. You know, assuming there's no crit damage immunity on you. But lessons in coercion, cooldown of 4. Rebel scoundrel tanks. Here's where we're really starting to see where the rebel scoundrel tanks come to situation. Really all we have in terms of rebel scoundrel tanks is Stormtrooper Han. That's really the only scoundrel rebel tank that we have. So pretty much as of now, it's mostly calling out that particular tank, Stormtrooper Han. So let's just say Stormtrooper Han recovers 20% protection. Dispel all debuffs on non-tank rebel allies, so Leia, Lando, whatever it might be, and Sana as well. And then Sana and they gain critical chance of and stealth for 2 turns. So hiding under stealth. And what does this kind of mean? I know it's been a while, but stealth was kind of a funny mechanic where everyone hides under stealth, but you have one person standing out in the open, the person that's taunting. This isn't a direct like forced taunt on Stormtrooper Han, but when everyone's hiding under stealth and Stormtrooper Han's the only one not going under stealth, in essence, that's kind of a forced taunt on the Stormtrooper Han. Sana, they get critical chance up in stealth for 2 turns. Then all stealth allies are called to assist with 100% critical damage. Now, remember this. Remember all the assisting capabilities on this ability, because it's going to mean a lot more when we dive into that unique ability down the road here. Smart targeting, scatter blast. Their cooldown of 3 here. Deal special damage to all enemies and inflict tenacity down for 2 turns. Tenacity down is always pretty solid. It's pretty much it. It's the direct counter to tenacity up, and usually how it works is even if you have tenacity up, tenacity down still applies. So that's gonna be really nice getting through that, because especially if Rebel Officer Leia Organa, you're gonna want to make sure there's no tenacity in them. Then deal damage again to all target locked enemies and stagger them for 1 turn. So here's where we're getting that target lock synergy, and maybe this might be more important if we see some Dr. Aphra droid momentum down the road. So it's hard to see if we're gonna get a lot of target lock stuff now, but down the road I think it's gonna maybe be a bigger deal. And stagger's always great as well. We're pulling all that turn meter back, but unlike Hondo, really sad that he didn't get a leader ability. Sana does have a leader ability, and that's a lot of words. Usually a lot of words means a lot of better. So sit back, relax. Hopefully you got nowhere to be here, because we got a lot to dive into. Rebel Scoundrel tanks have 30% defense, max health, max protection, and gain 15% turn meter. Whatever a non-tank Rebel ally or Sana is damaged by an attack. Whew, man. That's gonna be a lot of turn meter for Stormtrooper Han. Okay, we're gonna need to do a little review on Stormtrooper Han in case for those that, if you pretty much, I mean, besides some certain requirements like Commander Luke and yada, 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 there's really no need for Stormtrooper Han. We'll do a little review, but with all these forced taunting situations, all these increased defense health, and him getting turn meter, and then he's gonna feed more turn meter to the team. This team, even though there's no like flat speed bonus, like get 80 speed, they're gonna get lots of turn meter passively. But continuing on here, Rebel allies and Sana have 30% offense and potency. That's already a good start, but we're not done yet. At the start of the battle, Rebel allies and Sana gain protection up 100% until they use an ability. Now remember, protection up is based off your max health. So I'm assuming, just initial hunch, since we're getting especially max health increases on Stormtrooper, huh? This really should say Stormtrooper. I mean, let's just dive in. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any other Rebel Scoundrel tanks that we have here. Old Ben, he's not a scoundrel. He's a Rebel. Cara Dune, I back up. There we go. We have 2 taunting tanks. Cara Dune's the other. I was like, there's one more that we're missing out. Cara Dune's gonna be nice as well. Man, imagine Cara Dune getting turn meter through this situation. Scarefield Pathfinder's a Rebel, but not a scoundrel. Base is a Rebel, but not a scoundrel. Yeah, so pretty much it's Cara Dune and Stormtrooper Han that are kind of getting the main call outs here for this year. And Cara Dune's another great option. I think Stormtrooper Han's gonna be the better one here. Cara Dune's already got a home with the Rebel fighters. Maybe we'll see, time will tell, but I don't see an incentive to pull Cara Dune off and put it here when Stormtrooper Han's likely going to be the cornerstone here. But taking a look at this, whenever a Rebel ally or Sana has less than 100% turn meter and the gain bonus turn meter, they gain 25% critical damage, which is stacking until they critically hit an enemy. So they're building. Oh, there's all this steam, all this pressure of critical damage, and the second they hit some of the critical, they just absolutely explode on them with critical damage shenanigans. And this right here, I mean, good thing is it's for Rebel allies as well. It doesn't have to be Rebel Scoundrel allies, it's Rebel allies as well. So I mean, I guess maybe you can potentially throw a wedge in here. Maybe I see something like that, but I'm looking at Lando. This seems like a Lando thing, or even Leia, Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Those are like the 2 massive AoE area of effect characters that we want to keep our eyes peeled on here. If a Rebel Scoundrel removes turn meter from an enemy, that enemy also takes damage equal to 20% of their max health. I really want to make sure we review the Stormtrooper Han kit reveal. Kit reveal, his old kits. We haven't had a kit reveal with Stormtrooper Han, but his unique ability pulls back turn meter. I want to know, does that trigger this? Because imagine you're hitting Stormtrooper Han, he's passively removing turn meter, and as a result, pulling back 20% of your max health. That just sounds deadly, and it can't be evaded. This damage can't defeat enemies, so think of Traya, for example. Her unique ability can't kill folks off. This the first time each turn, Rebel allies and Sana deal damage more than once. Oh man, this is nasty. They gain 25% max health, stack up to a max of 200%. Remember, protection up is based off max health. So we're probably gonna be modding for, you know, health in this situation here for the rest of the encounter. Whenever rebel allies are assigned a critically hit an enemy, here comes the target lock. We got some target lock being applied out there, which can't be evaded. And whenever an enemy is inflicted with target lock, whenever an enemy is inflicted with target lock, reduce rebel scoundrel tanks cooldowns by 1. Based off this leadership and how it seems like it's gonna be pretty easy to get target lock to spread out there, this pretty much sounds like Stormtrooper Han's gonna be non-stop taunting, and as a result, non-stop feeding turn meter to their team. Wowza. Boy. Or even think of Cara Dune, now that we just rediscovered that she's a scoundrel and a rebel tank. She can keep using her AoE, pulling back turn meter, but I think Stormtrooper Han's gonna be a lot mercy. Or who knows, maybe both. Maybe it's gonna be like Sana, Lando, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and then you have 2 tanks running back, one feeding turn meter, the other one removing turn meter. While in territories, Rebel Scoundrels and Sana are immune to daze, so this is where the territory war Omicron comes in. I would advise for the time being, maybe wait to see what Dr. Aphra is gonna bring. You know, it's kind of like Inquisitors. There wasn't really a need to throw Omicrons on their lead because you're just ultimately going to use Grand Inquisitor, but it doesn't look bad for a territory war lead Omicron, but leadership abilities are iffy because there's a potential shelf life, whereas unique abilities, you can at least use them in a variety of different situations. Rebel Scoundrels and Sana are immune to daze, and at the start of the battle, Rebel Scoundrel tanks taunt for 1 turn, so free taunting at the very beginning, and Rebel Scoundrels and Sana start tenacity up for 1 turn. It's a nice starting bonus. And then target lock can't be resisted from this ability, from the leadership that is. And whenever rebel allies and Sana deal damage to multiple targets in a turn or multiple times to a single target, dispel buffs on all enemies and inflict healing immunity for 1 turn. Ooh, that's not going to be hard to accomplish. So Omicron's very, very expensive. Territory meta very limited. I'm sure there will be some people that want to get the full potential out of these leftover rebels here. For me, I'm gonna wait and see. Likely, it's not something that's on my radar, but it's not the worst territory war Omicron, but definitely maybe one that I'm not saying it's gonna be extremely popular anytime soon. But here's the unique ability, and this is where I'll admit I don't have a fully fleshed thought on how this is going to be utilized, the suspicious effect that we have here. Sana has 35% counter chance, 20% critical chance, so she's going to be attacking out of turn frequently. And at the start of each rebel ally's turn, whenever Sana evades an attack, or whenever Sana attacks out of turn, so counterattacking, assisting, whatever it might be, all non-scoundrel allies are inflicted with suspicious for 1 turn. I lied. I'm the king of Triple B God's Gift to Mulligan. Of course, I have a rough idea of where this might be valuable. But you're getting the suspicion on you, on non-scoundrel allies. So Leia Organa, Rebel Officer, she's one that's probably open for consideration here. And moving forward, her Sana assists whenever a non-attacker Rebel Scoundrel uses a special ability. So Stormtrooper Han constantly putting up the taunt, and whenever Sana assists this way, she recovers 20% protection, and rebel allies recover half that amount, so 10%. And whenever an enemy's inflicted a target lock, through that leadership ability, Sana's gonna get 5% turn meter. So suspicious is doing -10 speed plus 100% critical chance, and it does not stack up with critical chance up, so they're independent. It doesn't add on top of one another. So from what I'm seeing, there's no cap on suspicious. So you might be wondering, why would I want to keep losing 10 speed over and over and over and over and over again? And this is where I want to take your time and let's go hop on over and look through the wonderful world of the rebel scum. So the most important thing that I think I need to just remind you guys is Stormtrooper Han. He's going to be extra durable. Pretty much so many call outs, I mean, more or less, to him and Cara Dune here. I don't think the basics gonna be too important. Maybe there's gonna be times when they'll be called to assist and they'll get extra turn meter, but there's already gonna be so many turn meter opportunities to make sure Stormtrooper Han's getting a lot of turns. And remember, you're reducing cooldowns on Stormtrooper Han a ton through the Sana kit, and draw fire is only a cooldown of 4, so you get 3 situations or so where you get the cooldowns reduced. And Han's gonna keep using this ability over and over again. And just a reminder, he's gonna taunt for 3 turns, one of the longest one of the longest triggered taunts we have in a game, and other allies are going to get 30% turn. Then also, allies are going to get 20% turn meter whenever Han is damaged while the taunt is active. So right there, we're seeing lots of turn meter, and this might make sense why Stormtrooper Han is such a critical character when mods came out, because speed was crazy. If you had a fast Stormtrooper Han, your team went first, it was game over. Their Lando just nuked you out of existence here. Bluff. Now this is going to be kind of interesting. This might be a character I might apply the Zeta, because the team looks like it's going to finally take advantage of this here. But excluding the Zeta here, this is what I'm wondering here, because remember, we have this 20% health max damage when the enemy loses turn meter. Han has a 25% chance to remove 30% turn meter from each enemy at the start of his turns, and in addition, Han has a 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter from each enemy when he is damaged. Does this count as all that max health damage? If so, wow, that is gonna suck. You're feeding them turn meter when you're hitting Stormtrooper Han. You're losing turn meter, and you're getting damage when you're hitting Stormtrooper, but you have no other choice because everyone's under stealth and he's out in the open, or he's got the 3-turn taunt in him. Wow, does that sound like a lot of fun. Let's take a look at Cara Dune for a quick moment, then we'll hop over to Rebel Officer Leia Organa. These are kind of the three that are on the forefront of mind. Cara Dune, imagine her constantly getting her cooldown through this. She's got a very low, all you gotta do is do it once. She can keep doing AoEs over and over again. She's gonna deal damage to all enemies, remove 50% of their turn meter, and if they're Empire, you just keep stunning them over and over and over again. So Stormtrooper Han feeding turn meter, moving turn meter passively. Cara Dune removing turn meter over and over again. I don't want to say it's like an infinite turn meter loop, but when they have all the turn meter control they have in their hands, both positive and negative, that's kind of nuts. And this is where I'm thinking where the speed reduction makes sense. So we don't have, I mean, okay, firstly, there's going to be a lot of non-scoundrel allies that you could potentially use them, right? That's a lot of folks that it could work with. So maybe there's going to be some weird plug and play viability of Sana. I'm not going to go that far, but just thinking in the context of the Rebels for the moment, I think especially Rebel Officer Leia Organa character. I mean, if you have the Omicron, you're probably getting used to her. I don't get used to her. She's kind of dead weight, but I would love for her to be a bit more useful. So as we just showed, there you have all the turn meter control with this team, right? You're gaining turn meter, they're losing turn meter. Leia is a non-scoundrel, right? So she's going to get the suspicious on her and keep losing speed, But you have all this turn meter control from Stormtrooper Han and other ways to make sure you're getting turn meter fed through your team. And this is where things are going to get really nasty. With the constant critical chance stacking, you're pretty much going to be like using this over and over and over again. Because remember, you're going to deal damage 10 times to random enemies. Enemies struck more than once suffer ability block. And this ability's cooldown is reduced by 1 whenever Leia scores a critical hit or suffers a debuff. And these attacks can't be countered. So I would foresee Leia with all of her high critical chance. She shouldn't have a hard time landing critical hits, assuming again there's no critical hit immunity, especially when you have vulnerability as well. Guaranteed critical hits, increased critical chance. The speed reduction is a little odd, but there's gonna be ways to compensate for that with the increased turn meter that's throughout the team. And the other character that I think is gonna be interesting as well, Lando Calrissian. With all the critical damage capabilities that we just talked about, the stacking off, or not stacking off, stacking critical damage, and then the offense bonuses. Double down is going to be a big deal. Remember, high roller Ordian gives him critical chance up on this ability here. And when he's using double down, if this ability scores more than 1 critical, which is probably going to be easy in Sana's team, its cooldowns is reset and it deals 100% more damage on its next use. So to clarify, unless they're going to redo something, if I recall Lando properly, it's been a while since Lando was in port. It's not like 100% and then you get 100% action, then 100% on top of that. I think it basically just, you're basically doing the same damage for the next turn. It's not constantly stacking 100% damage, which would be absolutely insane. But he's going to keep using this over and over again when you're feeding extra critical damage opportunities to him. This is probably going to hit really darn hard. Of course, my mods are not quite ready for that action. So overall, that's why I had to open this conversation up, because this is a very interesting kit. One of the more unique and odd ones that I think we've seen in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So I'll pass the ball over to you guys again. We'll be meeting up later on this week on Thursday, and we'll take it through the paces. Let's see what Sana's all about. And maybe I've been waiting for a character that's gonna be useful until you get Dr. Aphra, and I like characters that lift useless characters, so maybe this might be the ticket that gets the job done. So thank you so much for stopping by. Leave that like, comment down below, and all your thoughts. Be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, and always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.